the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Jamie, if you could, has this meeting been advertised by as the Open Public Meeting Act requires?
Yes, Chairman has.
Can I get a roll call, commissioners?
Commissioner Davis. DeWise.
Here.
Fisher. Grillo.
Present.
Parikh. Rios.
Here.
Roberts. Scott. And Chairman Zabrowski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you, Jamie. The minutes from the June 11, 2026 meeting, I know that they've been distributed for your review. Are there any requested edits or suggestions?
Can I ask a question about the minutes? I wasn't here at the last meeting. But I do have a question about some of the information that Kevin Delina was doing with the mayor. Do we have a shared services agreement with the council to do that?
Yes, we have shared service agreement with the borough for various activities. I mean, sometimes we use services of the help of the marketing person for this town. And sometimes we, support that. And I think what mayor has done is some of the activity that we intend to do, promote businesses in town. If it's new coming, actually, we're starting that podcast series now with the different restaurants to present.
And I understand that's a SERA activity. I didn't realize that crossed over to
Right.
the council. Is the council sharing the cost with us?
Well, we do have a shared service agreement and we do share certain cost. If Jaffe's firm helps us, I call on him or Kevin helps them. I don't think we barter that directly, but indirectly, they're offset with each other.
Okay, that was just the question I have from reading it. Thank you.
And if there are no other comments or suggested modifications, can I get a motion to approve our minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Is there a second?
Second that motion.
Can I get a roll call?
Commissioner Davis. DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Grillo.
Yes.
Parikh.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Roberts. Scott. And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
So with everybody's permission, I'd like to go out of order a little bit this evening. We have two resolutions that pertain to the Riverton development. And we have a bunch of folks here that have a presentation to explain that why those two resolutions are in front of us. So if it's okay, I'd like to proceed with your presentation, if that's okay. Yep.
Now it's probably on, right? There we go. Good evening, everyone. My name is Jennifer Phillips Smith. I'm here tonight on behalf of Sayreville Seaport Associates, LP. And we have three components this evening that relate to the Riverton project, two of which we will present on behalf of the master redeveloper, and one of which we will defer to JCP&L, who is here to talk about their proposed transmission lines. For the two portions that we'll be presenting on, they pertain to Parcel C within the waterfront redevelopment area. One portion is a proposed substation. You'll hear this evening how, in order to build out Riverton, we need to bring more electricity to the site. That requires a planned substation, and we have been working with JCP&L to find the optimal location for that substation. That substation will require approval from the planning board, so we're here seeking your consent in order to make that application. We also have changed some of the plans for gateway services. We've been before you numerous times, for each one of the buildings, things are tweaked as we talk to potential tenants. This is the area of the site where Quick Check is already under construction. There are some buildings there where we're seeking some minor modifications, and we'll have Colliers go through that. So we'll start with those two components, and then, Mr. Chairman, if you don't mind, then we'll transition to have JCP&L talk about their proposed transmission lines. So with that, I'd like to start with Mark Fetta, and then we'll also have Dan Bush come up to talk about engineering aspects.
Thank you, Jen. My name's Mark Fetta. I'm running the development at the Riverton project. Good to see you all again this evening. I'll start off with re-answering a question that the executive director asked the last time we were here for our previous site plan modification for the Bass Pro building. And that's what everybody wants to know: when is Bass Pro going to open? And the answer is the same now. My money is on the end of September, could slip to early October. That said, my certainty at that point in time, or my confidence level, I should say, was probably about 65% at that point. I'm up to about 80, 85. It keeps creeping up. Dressed like this today because we were out on site doing some one aspect of probably a 20-step program of extremely diligent and detailed inspections for all the building systems and all the public infrastructure that we've constructed at Riverton. So we need to clear a couple of those hurdles. And as soon as we know the exact date, we are in contact with Bass Pro, and we will most absolutely get with you as soon as we know an answer on the exact date. But it's looking good. It's going to happen.
Thanks for that update.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. They've already ordered lockers and merchandise, and they're gearing up with people to come in and start merchandising the store. So all good news. We're excited. I'm sure you guys are too. So if there's any questions on progress, be happy to answer them now, or we'll just jump right into the substation. Excellent. Okay. So when we first got here, we began working, it was probably 5, 6 years ago now, a little over 6 years ago. Actually, we started working with the good folks over at JCP&L and First Energy. We know that for a project of this magnitude, and with the amount of square footage and the number of residential units on the site, there's a tremendous amount of power. That's an essential service, I would term it, for the entire development. At the time, the grid had 3 megawatts of power available, which was a godsend because that gave us the runway essentially to build Bass Pro and everything in the Gateway Services District, along with our pump station. So the good news is we're rapidly depleting that as well. As we sign new leases, we'll talk about the new building, the Dave's Hot Chicken and Nasto's building, which are signed leases. So therefore, we're here to talk about that building today, get the site plan approved with you all, then we go to the planning board. Overall, we'll need in excess of 30 megawatts of power for the development, depending on how future regulations go and moving away from gas, appliances, all those kinds of intangibles that we can't factor in accurately. When we met with the good folks at JCP&L First Energy several years ago, we went under contract with them for 130 meg load bank, which will get us very far down the road. And again, we'll find out in the future if and what would be needed in excess of that. You may recall that a couple of years ago, we were here and we presented a concept plan on the substation. At that time, it was the one load bank, 30 megawatt. Since then, we've worked with JCP&L and PSE&G. Let's get ahead of the game and design the yard. We've expanded the yard for the facility to accommodate both load banks. With that, let me pull up a slide and talk about some details.
Mark, I'm thinking Bass Pro Shop was easier to build than.
Yeah. Yeah, this is, yeah, yeah, okay. So, we are in parcel C here. With Bass Pro, the Epic Church out parcel, Gateway Services. This is the extent of which we presently have power from that 3 megawatt reservation I spoke about a few minutes ago. So, this is the location for the substation. We spent quite a bit of time and effort working with the borough engineer and with JCP&L to find a place where the substation could be located. So that it would be able to provide and distribute power to the entirety of the Riverton development without taking away from valuable development land. So it's well located and has an easement that will eventually work on to provide access for JCP&L to service and operate the substation. So again, this is why we're here today. This is essential as we move forward with Bass Pro. There's a tremendous amount of interest in the Riverton development. We have tenants and other building users who are lining up. I need power for this. The transformer for the first load bank, we understand is due here in September from Europe. The way the contract is established between ourselves, Riverton, SSA, and JCP&L, we are required, we're obligated to build the foundations to support the substation. So that's why we're here. We've awarded that contract. Want to get that approval so we can build the pilings, the auger cast piles, and the pile caps. Then we'll be ready for JCP&L to take over. So that's all I had on the substation.
Well, if I could ask Dan Bush from Colliers to talk a little bit more about some of the specifics of the substation and then transition to gateway services.
Thank you. Okay, so the substation, when we appeared in 3 years ago in 2023, we did a subdivision to create a lot for the substation. And just for the record, that was 124 by 154. We're now 140 by 160. So pretty similar in size, almost exactly the same location. Instead of doing a subdivision now, this will all be done via easement. So there's a permanent easement, which is the light gray shaded box. That's the actual location of the substation. And then the darker shaded gray area is temporary access easement to provide access while there's still active construction because this area is yet to be developed. That'll be a stone, gravel access road. And ultimately, when this is part of phase 2 of the development, when that gets built, there'll be a paved road access to the substation. So think of the darker gray, temporary, lighter gray, permanent. That's the substation location. 8-foot fence around it. And as Mark described, it could ultimately be 2 load banks starting out with 1. And that's kind of it. It's pretty simple.
Well, if there are no questions on the substation, if you could transition to gateway services.
Much more interest.
I don't know, JCP&L might think that the substation is interesting.
So we just amended this for, I think, at least the second or third time last fall. We're now back to make some subsequent changes. So I'll just walk through kind of starting where what doesn't change and then what does change. So starting here on Main Street Extension, Peter Fisher, we have quick check, no change there. We have a second, and it's identified as building 500. It's a 3-tenant building with 1 drive-through, no change there. We're building 600, which has 2 restaurants. Same thing, 2 restaurants. The difference here is in the fall, it had 1 drive-through on the left side. Now we have a second drive-through on the right side. And the difference between the restaurant with drive-through on the right side is it's mobile pickup only. So it has a 4-car queue. It's not something that needs a substantial drive-through queue. So That's the only change to building 600. Building 700, Panera, no change there. If you recall, the area adjacent to MCUA, we had a bank. We'd shown a bank on there for, I think, since 2019, since the original approval. We now have a two-tenant building 200, which has 2 restaurants, no drive-through. And then to the left, which is building 300, it's a retail shop, no tenant for that as of yet. And then out on Main Street Extension, building 100 is now a sit-down restaurant. That, as you recall, was the former Chick-fil-A location. It is now proposed to be a sit-down restaurant. Everything will comply with all the bulk standards. We're not asking for any zoning relief whatsoever. There's adequate parking. And generally the layout is basically the same as what we had in the fall. So happy to answer questions.
The only question I would have is traffic flow for the 2 drive-throughs that are back to back. Just explain that to us.
Sure. So on I'll call it the right side of building 600, that's where the 4-car queue is. So you come in here, it's mobile pickup, it's signed for that tenant only. That's the only vehicle that accesses on the right-hand side here. To get to the left side tenant drive-through, you come up this double 2-way driveway here and make this left and come around the building here. So we will have not only just verticals, like normal wayfinding signage, pavement signage to direct vehicles, be able to see that when they get here to make this left to come up and around to access that drive-through. And this drive-through queue, if you were to go back and look at the old plan, is pretty similar to what was there. And then at this, I'll call it weave point, whatever you would like to call it, up against Peter Fisher, both of those movements are stop control. So stop sign, so stop bar, stop sign, so there's stop control. So no movement there, is just free flow. You want both vehicles to stop because it is, an area where you have 2 vehicles coming together. So
Further ask, I'm taking a look at it. Both of the drive-throughs use the same lane at the right of 600 to get through there, or does the other one come in parallel to Fisher?
So what the drive-through that's on the right-hand side, it has I'll call it the crow's feet striping, and you go into the lane on the outside, so closest to Peter Fisher, and come around what would be effectively the bypass lane. And then the drive-through for the western tenant, the left side tenant, you come to this stop bar and you would have to cross over to get into that drive-through lane.
So Dan, just so I'm hearing it correctly, each drive-through point has its own way in,
Correct.
but they share a way out.
Correct.
It just appears that it might be confusing for someone going into the wrong drive-through from time to time.
There's clearly going to have to be some detailed signage here to make that clear. I completely agree with you. And that those details have to be noted. There's going to need to be clear signage right at that decision point that you're going into this lane, if you're going to this drive-through, and vice versa. If I'm leaving here, that I know I've got to get into that lane.
Right, because you're going to get stuck in the drive-through.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
I think that's gonna be a challenge. I mean, I can
Just
see myself being in
No,
the wrong drive-through for either one.
I completely understand. I think that the one thing you have to keep in mind is when I've picked up, I'm leaving at this point. I'm looking to flow and get out of there. I'm not looking to, and normally that would be to the right. That would be where a bypass lane. I think it will be more intuitive than it would otherwise appear. I'll just say that.
I know Chick-fil-A, they put some guardrails or something to separate that so that maybe that may help eventually.
Yes, some form of delineator. Yes.
Or maybe even just sign on the road, like.
That's when I
Not
agree.
just stand-up signs. but
Exactly.
on
Not
the
just your normal wayfinding sign, but actual pavement striping, pavement signage that would identify the tenant with chevron arrows telling you to go that direction.
I
Absolutely.
can guarantee you, I will be the first one to be confused when I drive through there.
We'll have it drive over.
You would? Oh, thank you.
Get Uber or something. Dan, in building 100, that's now going to be a sit-down restaurant. Did you have to eliminate a drive-through?
Correct. Thank you.
And access to that, is that off of the Main Street extension or does that come off of?
You can get to it either way. So the driveway on Main Street Extension, there's no change. That's still right in, right out. And then you still have access. You'd have the movement between Quick Check and this building, and then the signalized access here, which lines up with Epic Church.
Okay, and nothing changed as far
That
as.
doesn't change. That doesn't change. Correct.
My understand, I think last time we spoke, you guys spoke about it, that right now you're gonna have a left turn in a Quick Check currently right in the front there, but eventually they're gonna have to go around because that's gonna,
Correct. So initially, before this signal is activated, I mean, quite frankly, when Panera opens, this signal will get activated, and this temporary break in this median that provides for that left turn will go away. Yes.
And I just want to be clear that across from Quick Check, the unmarked block, that's the, nope, by Quick Check, go to your right, that little block there, that is
That's
the
the
pump.
gas canopy.
Okay,
Yep.
just wanted to be clear. It wasn't something I was missing. Thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments or questions?
Mr. Chairman, when Dan showed me these plans, I had the same concerns with the driveway as Donna, and he assured me that it would be signed properly. So I could vouch, I agree that this is the best
We're gonna
layout.
test that. And if it doesn't work out, you come back and see us, right?
blindfold Justin and have a drive with you.
And you're buying lunch.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Yeah.
You can continue.
Excellent. That is actually all we have directly for SSA. Obviously, we're seeking a resolution for your consent to apply to the planning board for those components. And then JCP&L is here to talk about the transmission line component of the project.
JCP now.
Good evening. My name is Benjamin Nadel. I'm an attorney with the law firm Saul Ewing, appearing this evening on behalf of Jersey Central Power and Light Company. So JCP&L is seeking the consent of the Sayreville Economic and Redevelopment Agency to proceed with a application to permit the replacement of existing lattice towers and wood pole structures along JCP&L's existing transmission line corridor. Specifically, JCP&L is proposing to replace its existing lattice towers and wood pole structures with steel monopoles with concrete foundations to support JCP&L's proposed Raritan-Sayreville 115 kV transmission line, which will serve the Riverton development and serve future customers as well. The transmission line corridor is located within the borough's industrial zone and the waterfront redevelopment plan area. We did receive Mr. Cornell's review letter dated July 8th. We have no objections to the comments in that letter. And this evening, we have Matthew Birch, civil engineer with Dynamic Engineering, to provide an overview of the proposed improvements to the transmission line corridor and explain the purpose of this important utility infrastructure project. Mr. Birch, where'd you go? There you are. He left.
Thank you.
Come over here. Good evening. My name is Matthew Birch. I'm with Dynamic Engineering. I'm a civil site engineer for First Energy. So the exhibit that we have before you on the easel is a zoning map. It was prepared by my office. This map, it's an overview of the entire transmission line project area. It's overlaid on an aerial, a little difficult to see what's underneath, but the colorized shading are the different zones. So unless, I'm not sure if you have 11 by 17s in front of you, but the project area, it starts down near on the south side near the Crossman substation. Sure. Just give everybody a second to grab that plan. Sure. So the project area, it starts on the south side near the Crossman substation, which is in the northeast corner of the intersection of Main Street and Crossman Road. And it continues north, ultimately running parallel to like the Raritan River. And currently it stops just north of the MCUA water treatment plant. On this exhibit, the red squares are the proposed transmission line poles, and the brown circles are the existing wood transmission line poles, just to differentiate the two. So to continue talking about the existing conditions, there is an existing what First Energy calls their U99 transmission line. It's a 34.5 kV transmission line that, as I mentioned, starts near Crossman substation and runs north. It's 1.2 miles in existing conditions. And it's entirely within JCP&L easement area. It does span across two different zones, as Mr. Nadell mentioned. At the beginning portion of the line on the south side, it's in the I industrial zone. As it traverses north, it enters into the waterfront redevelopment district. 7 of the poles are within that I industrial zone, with the remaining 24 in the redevelopment district. All of the existing poles are wood, and their current heights are between 50 and 60 feet. I'm going to use the same exhibit to discuss the proposed conditions. So First Energy is looking to construct a new 1.6 mile, 115 kV transmission line. It's going to follow the exact same path as the existing transmission line, but it'll continue a little bit further to connect into that Victory substation that you heard discussed earlier. The path, it generally follows the existing pole location. So all the proposed pole locations are going to be very near an existing wood pole. So there's really going to be no difference in routing other than it's offset from the existing line. All of the new poles will be steel monopoles on concrete pier foundations. We will be removing 23 wood poles and proposing 23 new steel poles. Those heights will be between 91.6 and 122.6 feet, which includes the foundation. All of the proposed poles will also be within a JCP&L easement area. As I mentioned, there's an existing easement area there today. In order to accommodate the proposed transmission line and the proposed poles, JCP&L is expanding that easement area slightly in a couple of locations, and that's currently ongoing. The northern portion of the line, as it rounds the curve, was designed with the future Main Street bypass in mind. We worked with the Riverton team as well as the borough to lay out the proposed pole locations to stay out of that road cartway and to keep that future bypass in mind. So that was contemplated in our design. So, I mean, that's really it. It's pretty simple, just upgrading an existing transmission line to accommodate a larger conductor and more facilities to serve the Riverton development, as well as the continued redevelopment of that area and potential future customers.
Thank you, Mr. Birch.
I do have questions.
Sure.
These are existing wooden typical telephone pole type poles, or is that kind of what it is?
They're a little bit larger than what you might see right here, but yes, they are wood poles.
Okay, and the ones that you're replacing are 91.6 feet to 122.6?
Yes, that is
So
correct.
that's a lot taller.
It is.
Okay. I don't know what these look like. Are they kind of like the big transmitters, or is it going to look more like a telephone pole? Do you have any pictures of what they are?
We did send the engineer a detail.
I think we got some pictures and I just didn't know what they were, so.
Yeah, that detail, I do have a couple of copies.
And my other question would be, is there any consideration, these are all above ground, any consideration for any parts of these going underground? Is this the type of line that could be considered for that?
I'm not an electrical engineer, but to my knowledge, this cannot go underground. The size of the conductor and the transmission line would be required to be above ground.
We have a lot of tangled webs above ground currently, so just want to avoid some of those, but I would like to see what the previous looks like and what the new ones look like, if you have that.
So this is just a generic detail. It's not specific to,
I think, yeah, that's the picture. I had no idea what it was.
I have some more copies if anybody else wants.
Okay. So John, I think that was the picture I was looking at. I had no idea what that picture was. Okay, yeah, I didn't see anything on here that showed what it looked like.
I mean, it is.
Because it is going to be in the waterfront redevelopment, so it's going to be visible to people that are in that area.
To an extent. Okay.
Do you know what they look like?
So it will follow that existing transmission line. So there's existing poles out there today. Well, yes, they are taller structures. They are going to be steel rather than wood. It is going to follow that same line. So it's not all that different from what's there today. A majority of that route is it hugs the industrial zone. It does enter the waterfront redevelopment district, but it does hug the west side of that. It does follow the existing railroad for a decent portion of that line. So a lot of it is hidden until obviously you get close to the Victory substation in that redevelopment area. But it is really tucked back behind the water treatment plant as well.
Okay, yeah, I was mostly concerned with what's going by the waterfront versus the industrial area that is on the map. And Bob, you said you know what these look like? Are they okay?
It's clean. It really is. It's just, if you look out the window, you see lots of underbilled distribution lines. There's lots of wires out there.
Yeah.
This is a transmission line, so it's very tight. There's single lines. It's not like you have 27 different lines running from pole to pole. So it is clean.
Okay, yeah, like you said, it's not my industry either, so,
If you're picturing the parkway and the turnpike and you see those gigantic ones, those are not the poles that are being proposed with
Okay,
this project.
Yeah,
All right.
they're not lattice towers. There's a couple of lattice towers in that area already. They're not those big tower structures.
The square looking ones that look like an
Ones that look
H, the
like-
big
yeah.
H,
Yeah.
that's not what these structures are.
okay. Would have been helpful for pictures for someone who has no idea what they're
That's,
looking like.
that's a good point. And in the future, we will be sure to submit photographs. Thank you for that.
All right, thank you.
And just for the record, the detail I passed out, that is generic. I think the title block does mention that it's for this project, but not every single pole is going to look exactly like that.
And just a silly question, because it's been going on with power lines. Are the lines going to be the same? It's just changing the structure that the lines are on. So we're not changing the lines, or are we doing that also?
It is an upgrade.
It is an upgrade?
Yes. It's a high
Okay.
voltage. Right now
So
it's 35 or 34.5 kV conductor, and the proposed one will be 115, but it'll also continue with that 34.5, just the lower level.
Thank you.
Two quick ones. Can you just show on that plan where it crosses over into the Riverton site? Because it's really only at the very top.
Sure.
upper
Yeah,
floor.
it's as you get around the radius, this becomes the Riverton property.
That's back, and that's in front of the tertiary lagoon area.
That's correct.
It's not a residential area. It's back off in the corner.
That is correct.
And the second is the question, and I think I know the answers. Why do you need the tall poles? And how does that relate to going to the 115 kV?
Sure. So the 115 kV line, as well as the 34.5, and there's an existing 12.5 kV underbuild line that's out there today. Having three separate conductors, especially one as large as the 115, it does require larger, stronger structures. That's why we are going with steel. And they also are required to meet different safety codes and standards. The NESC is one, and they do require certain clearances, certain separation. So that's why we're going with the taller poles.
Thank you.
And I'll make the assumption that the need for capacity is obviously what Mark had said before, is to be able to bring the additional power into Riverton. But can I make also the assumption that it also helps within the community as well?
Absolutely. It's going to serve Riverton, but that Victory substation, I believe it was mentioned that it will have the capacity and the capability to serve more.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I just think the agency should get some feedback of this has been going on for 3 or 4 months, okay? And there has been a lot of back and forth. When we first saw where the poles were going, we said this is going to block the Main Street bypass. So as a result, we flipped out, okay? And we were working with Mark Fetta and the people from JCP&L to go through and bring some resolution to it, because I said we cannot block the Main Street bypass. So there's different designs that were put forward to us that we rejected. Okay, this has been going back and forth, like I said, for a while. And then there was kind of a compromise design, and that is in one section of the roadway. It would be a divided roadway, and there would be poles in the center aisle of that roadway in order to go through and accommodate JCP&L and Saraville with regard to the Main Street bypass. But one of the things that I think we have to have Mike put on the record of the approval is that both Riverton and JCP&L will not in any way object to the construction of the Main Street bypass in the future. Because we can't have them come back later on and say, oh, you're too close to our poles. So we have to make sure they've told us that, but I think we have to have it in writing, and we have to have it on the record that says that they're in agreement with the location of this roadway.
Counselor, can we get that on the record tonight for JCP&L, and then Jen or Kevin or Mark will ask you the same?
Just a moment to speak with my client. Thanks. Yes, we can agree to that condition.
Sorry. We just have a suggestion on that. So there will be a need to update the existing easement that's out there, which as the property owner, SERA is going to need to approve that easement when it comes before you. And we can work to put satisfactory language in the easement so that it's recorded, and not just in a resolution, but recorded in title, if that's a satisfactory way to memorialize that.
Chairman, Justin has already written his review letter where it mentions that the future will be needed. Justin, if you can have an amended letter that will send along with the resolution to the borough engineer and the planning department, indicating the representations on the record with regard to not objecting to the location of the Main Street bypass, and also that the easements that are developed in the they filed will also include, provisions that it will not. But we realize you've got to work on these, you don't have descriptions, you have to work to do. But as long as the planning board and down, borough engineer know it has to be in there. It's they're the ones who have to do it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just wanted to make sure that the record was set so everybody knew what we were going through. And it started off really difficult, but all of us worked together to come up with a solution.
Council, do you have anything else to present to us this evening?
Nothing further. Thank you.
Do we have any further questions for JCP&L? Appreciate it. Does that conclude both of the presentations then?
That will conclude our presentation. Thank you.
Mike, again, I'd like to go out of order because we have a lot of folks here. Is it possible that we can move forward with the resolutions? And do you need to do any explanations before we do that?
I don't need an explanation, Chairman, but on the JCP&L resolution, I do have one change in the third whereas I called out an existing 115 kV power line. It should be new 1 kV power line instead of existing.
So with the commissioner's indulgence, we're going to move to resolutions, and we have resolution A of 12, and that's 2026-07.16. It's a resolution approving JCP&L project to proceed to the Saraville Borough Planning Board or Zoning Board for replacement of lattice and wooden poles along the 115 kV transmission line located within the Riverton Development Project. And we've had that presentation. Are there any additional questions or comments before a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I have
Put your mic on, please.
clarify this for me. We are approving the resolution tonight without the language that our engineer requested that there be there, that the Main Street bypass not be blocked. So are we authorizing this resolution without that language?
What we're doing is authorizing the resolution that they can go to the planning board, and in transmitting it to the planning board, in addition to the letter that Justin already wrote telling them they have to get the easements done, he's going to do a second letter putting in the requirement, the acknowledgement that they said on the record they're okay with it, and that when the easements are done, it'll include that language, because it's the easements at the planning board that have to have that. So it's covered.
We are recommending this
It's just a
planning board
recommendation.
to take action. We're not taking an actual.
We're not approving the plan.
They're
We're just
planning
saying,
board.
go to the planning board.
That's in essence what both resolutions will be doing this evening.
Right.
Any other questions or comments? Not-
I just
Yep.
do a record keeping.
Sure.
We have. In our agenda, we have the resolution ID 2026-0716. Can we have that transferred also onto each resolution so that we have the cross-reference, because we have just the title by title? So can we always have the resolution?
My bad, Councilwoman. I did the resolution, but I didn't put it.
Detention. Thank you. As long as we do that. The official record will have that. Thank you.
The signed one will have that.
I have.
Okay, thank you.
Good for a motion or any?
I'll make a motion.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that motion.
We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
We now have resolution 2026-07.17, resolution approving Saraville Seaport Associates to proceed to the Saraville Borough Planning Board for an electrical substation project and for amendments to the Gateway Services District site plan at the Riverton redevelopment project site. Any addition? Go ahead. Before we do, is there any additional questions or comments from any of our commissioners?
Sorry?
Just before we take that, are there any additional questions or comments? Mike?
Chairman, same change, new 115 kV instead of existing.
With that,
I'll entertain a motion to approve. You can get the second.
roll call?
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Rios,
Yes.
Roberts, Scott,
Yes.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Now moving on to our attorney's report. Mike, is there anything additional besides the resolutions that we had this evening?
No, Chairman, that was my only report for tonight, those resolutions.
Thank you. Justin, engineer's report. Or Dave?
Just.
Mr. Chairman, work continues at the Riverton site, as we all heard. Bass Pro is gearing up to open as early as late September. This month, a sidewalk was formed and poured along Riverton Boulevard and Peter Fisher, and Bass Pro sidewalk as well. They're working on the electric for the traffic signals, and Quick Check has paved and concrete work completed. That's all I have. Thank you.
Questions or comments for our engineer? David, anything additional or is it covered? Moving on to our planners report. Vina?
So I'm done with the transit-oriented development, the area investigation study. I'm just waiting to talk to John for the date to present in front of the planning board. Also, I had a meeting with the developer for Main Street and Ernston Road to come up with a concept so that we can have the redevelopment plan in place. And one more, actually, an interesting news is I had a meeting with NJ Transit because I noticed that where NJ Transit has its lot within the transit-oriented development, next to it is a township borough-owned parcel. And I was asking them if they would be interested in doing something combined with the borough so that we could have a developer who would develop that site with us, and it would be a shared parking arrangement so that it could be a commuter parking lot as well as parking for residents, because the whole idea is they're the ones who are taking the bus to New York City, and they are willing to have a meeting and discuss that with us further. I think it's a great way of using the borough's parking lot as well as NJ Transit parking lot. I did speak to two developers who seem to be interested and want to learn more because I feel if we kickstart with one project in that area, it will serve as an impetus to, trigger development on other areas. So I would like to set that up once SERA is ready for it.
Any questions or comments?
The piece of property?
Pardon me?
Where's the piece of property?
It's right next to NJ Transit's commuter parking lot. So actually the access to NJ Transit's parking lot is through the borough's parcel. I think that section, if we can kickstart with development, then there is a strip mall that is right across the street, which is not as successful, has a lot of parking, and it will encourage that owner to come up with redevelopment project on that parcel as well.
Anybody else have any questions or comments? We're looking forward to having more discussion on that. If not, I'll move on to the executive director's report. Zach, you're up.
All right. Good evening, everybody. So the first point I have is the Riverton redevelopment update. As Justin said, progress is continuing down there. And as you heard from Mark and Jen, there's a lot of progress being made down there. Additionally, we have a site tour scheduled of the Riverton project for members of the Borough Council next Friday, the 17th, so that they can kind of see the progress for themselves. And then on this evening's agenda, you approved both of those resolutions to allow SSA and JCP&L to move to the planning board. With the FTA grant that we were awarded in 2022, we've had an update call with them and we made some progress. We had that call on Wednesday. The agency received confirmation that the 2022 FTA grant will now advance through the federal onboarding process. The delays that we've experienced over the past several months and in reality years were the result of evolving federal guidance and changing administrative requirements, particularly with respect to the civil rights compliance. During the call, FTA agreed to allow the agency to proceed with onboarding while temporarily deferring the civil rights documentation requirements until updated guidance is issued by the administration. This is going to allow the agency to move forward with accessing those grant funds needed to complete the multimodal transit study for the Riverton project. So that was some positive news. Tonight, there's also a resolution to qualify the firms that responded to the agency's request for qualifications for professional services through July 2027. Upon qualification, the Board of Commissioners will be able to award professional service contracts to the firms selected to provide legal, engineering, planning, auditing, and other professional services as needed by the agency. And then just to reiterate that the Riverfront Bar and restaurant RFP, the deadline is extended to August 3rd, and we have been promoting that.
Just a couple of things on FTA grant. And probably in August or September meeting, we'll bring forward hiring of grant writer the borough has with the through SERA service agreement. We will retain them for we no longer need them for all the civil right requirements and everything. But I think they will be helpful in actually processing grant and getting the funds as the grant progress. So we'll bring forward the resolution to approve them. And then the other thing is that, the agency is very active right now. We have a number of interest. We have spoken to developers that came forward as interest, working with the Riverton folks in Parcel B. Actually, we referred two developers to Riverton for that. And we also have on Journey Mill Road, there's an interest on Viking Terminal. So there, a lot of good things happening.
Question or comments for our executive director? If not, moving on to authorization of payment of bills, we have a total of $48,649.54, which is operating total of $30,257.54 and escrow of $18,392. Can I get a motion to pay those bills?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion.
Roll call.
Commissioner Davis,
Yes.
Wise,
Yes.
Fisher, Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh, Rios,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Scott,
Yep.
and Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have paragraph 11, which is our annual commissioners discussion. If there's any issues that the commissioners would like to raise for this evening for our meeting?
Did see. We just did see.
We're going to do so. If not, going to move on to resolutions. We have resolution C, which is before we go into our public portion, is it's 2026-718 resolution of the SERA Economic and Redevelopment Agency qualifying professionals from July 1, 2026 to July 1, 2027 pursuant to the fair and open process, NJSA 19:44A-20. Mike, any comments on this?
Absolutely, Chairman. The commission's been here a while, will know, and the new ones will follow. Every year we do RFPs. We get submissions back, and anyone who qualifies with the right credentials, the right materials in the package, the right background, the agency has qualified so that during the year we can use them. And then after discussions in closed session, the commissioners come out and make a decision which ones we're going to actually have contracts with. And you don't have to have a contract with someone right away if you don't need them right away. For instance, we have many appraisers, we have financial consultants, but we don't use them all the time. We might use them on a per project basis. So you qualify them, and then you would issue a contract and a purchase order with Wayne and Himanshu when that person or that entity this is something we do every year.
Currently, we're going to recommend awarding contract for the attorney, engineer, planner, and auditor.
And the others were just qualifying.
Yes.
Unless there's any questions reference that resolution, can I get a motion to approve in a second?
So I'm sorry, are we approving at this point just
qualifying.
Just qualifying?
That's correct.
Okay, not
We're
what
gonna
you
go
had
into
mentioned
executive
before, just qualifying? Okay, thank you. Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise,
Yes.
Fisher,
Yes.
Grillo,
Yes.
Parikh,
Yes.
Rios,
Yes.
Roberts,
Yes.
Scott, Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, good. Since we are going to have some business afterwards, we're going to move the public portion to the end of the meeting and ask for a motion so that we can go into executive session at this time.
So moved.
Second.
And Jamie, would you read?
Roll call.
No,
Oh.
read the resolution.
Does it need a-
The resolution.
Does it need a roll call first?
I need to read it first.
Okay, sorry. Resolution of the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency to go into executive closed session, whereas the Open Public Meetings Act enacted October 21st, 1975 permits a public body to exclude the public from meetings or portions thereof wherein matters to be discussed are exempted from the requirements of the act. And whereas the act requires that prior to holding the meeting or portion thereof from which the public is excluded, the public body must adopt a resolution in public and provides for the holding of a private meeting. And whereas the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency has determined that a meeting should be held from which the public is to be excluded to discuss subjects exempted under the act. And now therefore be it resolved by the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency that it meet in executive closed session under the Open Public Meetings Act to discuss litigation, personnel, contract negotiations. Be it further resolved that the minutes of the executive closed session shall be made available to the public after official action on the subject matter has been taken.
We have a roll call?
Commissioner Davis. DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher. Grillo.
Yes.
Parikh. Rios.
Yes.
Roberts. Scott. Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
And Justin, could you just close that? Okay.
All right.
Commissioner DeWise, Zach is going to call you.
All right, thank you, everybody, for your cooperation, and we are back.
Mike, we have to do individually, right?
Individual. Yeah.
We do our public portion first, or do the resolutions and then public?
Whichever you want to do.
Well, let's go to public portion. Anybody from the, can I get a motion to open to public?
So moved.
Second.
To help keep this meeting as organized as possible, we ask members of the public to approach, state your name, and strive to limit your comments to 5 minutes. All comments this evening should refer to the redevelopment and agenda items per NJSA 10-4-12A and the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency's rules. In the event a member of the public has questions they seek answers to, an appointment can be made during regular business hours with the agency's office. Thank you.
Anybody from the public like to speak this evening? Kevin?
Good evening, everyone. Kevin Polston from Riverton. First of all, thank you all for expediting our agenda items tonight and for putting them in the front. I appreciate that on behalf of the team. I just wanted to be here to, on behalf of the project, just be available if anyone here has questions. Mark offered the opportunity to ask questions earlier. Just want to make sure that there's open dialogue. If you all have any questions about anything going on, to the extent I know an answer and I can tell you the answer, I'll be happy to answer anything you all may have questions about regarding the project.
Commissioners?
How did your job there go?
I heard it went well. I heard two different numbers, 140 and 240 employees. So they hired at least 140. The numbers that we heard originally were they were looking to hire over 300. And so they're looking to plan one more event locally to do another hiring initiative.
Thank you, Kevin. Locally.
And so, yeah, we did have the folks that were in town for the event in Edison. I want to say that was the 24th, 25th, something like that of June. They came in early to mobilize for that. So we were able to bring out the East Coast Regional Head of Human Resources, the general manager of the store and the assistant general manager of the store out to St. Stan's. They were in our carnival Saturday night. And I believe, I'm not sure who here may have met them. Himanshu, I think you met some of them in our booth that evening. Diane Heil.
The store manager at the St. Stan, where they were there, I haven't met anybody else. The only question, Kevin, if you can find out how many Saraville residents hiring took place. That's important to SERA and to the town.
Sure. Yeah. So we obviously don't have that information, and I don't know that we don't get involved in the HR data for Bass Pro. That's really not something that we have any contractual or legal right to. So I will
just a request if we can get some information.
I just want to be realistic though.
Might not want that information. Might not want us to have that information.
Who?
A resident that went, whether they got hired or not, they might not want us to have that.
Oh, we just.
Well, I don't think we want specifics, just a number.
Yeah, just a number.
Yeah, we don't want names.
Yeah,
I would ask you, Kevin, if you could go back and ask that question and see if that's something that they could provide.
We can certainly ask the question. I once again, realistically, I don't anticipate the $9 billion company to provide that information.
We understand.
How is the aquarium going?
It's still being baked inside the store.
Really?
For those of you who saw the press release that had the image of the circular aquarium, I think it was quoted as 65,000 gallons, and then a 12,000 gallon ray tank around that primary shipwreck aquarium. So it's still being baked. Baking has to finish, and then they put the water in, condition it for about 30 days, and the marine life can be introduced into it. So that's kind of the critical path toward getting the store open.
So I know there was a lot of things going on, one of which being part of the restaurant that is going in. Has any decision been made on that?
We had a call with their food and beverage people just in the last few days. They're formulating those plans. The restaurant will not be open when they open this year. They still need to complete plans, their concept plan, their delivery plan. They will be operating that restaurant within Bass Pro rather than through a licensee or a third-party operator. That's what they've informed us of. So they're working on that right now. They do hold a pocket license in Saraville. Bass Pro has had a license for several years, and so they'll be mobilizing, activating that license. And we think that's probably a spring opening of next year, but
I'm also looking forward to the archery room where we can actually practice and try archery.
With,
Yes.
with hand-painted murals on all walls.
Quick Check, do they have a hiring plan?
I don't know. We reached out to their marketing and PR people.
Narrowbread, they're gonna, you know.
Yeah, so Panera won't be opening until next year. We're not even talking to their operations team yet. We're working with their design and construction team. So Quick Check is getting closer. They're a few months out, and we made outreach a few months ago. I saw there was connection today between the marketing teams at Jamestown and Quick Check, so there's engagement. I think they have a call scheduled in the next few weeks. So the main thing is when we get that information, we'll immediately send it to the agency. You all know what we know when we know it. So.
Two quick questions.
Sure.
First, I think it was said earlier, Dave's Hot Chicken, and what was the second?
It's someone we haven't announced publicly yet, so I'm not going to repeat it.
The ice cream place was announced.
Was it Nastos?
There's a Newark base.
Oh, really? Is that the one, Nastos out of Newark? I think Mark said Nastos, so I'm assuming.
Some questions I can answer and some questions.
Right, I was playing dumb. I thought you were going to tell me, but okay. Second question, any possibility or thoughts on a hotel and/or conference center in the future?
Certainly, I think there would be a market opportunity for that in the long-term future. Hotels are really driven by other demand drivers for the rooms. And the redevelopment agreement contemplates a hotel and conference center. The redevelopment plan was put together pre-COVID. So the entire hospitality industry was different before COVID. And so we'll just have to get to that point in the development plan to be able to figure out how would we fund a conference center? How do you drive that? But certainly, I think hotel is part of the plan over the 270-acre build-out, definitely. But we don't have any imminent plans for a hotel. There's not one on the immediate horizon. Yeah, sure.
The plan's always shown like a block where the idea where we've already discussed that the conference center part of it is pretty heavy. The hotel part is pretty much easy.
And there's a hotel planned adjacent to the village along the waterfront there, and then other potential hotel locations are in the plan. So it'll all be driven by the marketplace, though, over time.
Kevin and I have had major discussions about hotels.
Dave has a pretty strong arm, when you arm wrestle him.
One of the things I saw in one of your plans is eventually you wanted to do more like a corporate commercial park there. Is that true?
Like a business.
Buildings and stuff?
Yeah, certainly we have office, institutional, other commercial besides the retail, entertainment, and restaurant.
I thought I saw something you wanted to do with office. Maybe
Yeah, the office market is, the capital markets are tough now, generally just across the board to get any new development done because interest rates are so high and construction costs have gone up so significantly with energy, pressure from the energy prices. But to get an office building started, you have to have a pretty robust commitment from an anchor tenant. So that's all driven by end users and the needs that they have. I believe the more we build into our retail, restaurant, entertainment amenities, the more we'll be attractive to those types of end users who want to bring their employees there.
Kevin, when do you see and reason to start the residential components now that Bass Pro is almost ready to open and all the restaurants pretty much has been, decided now under construction. So what's the next phase? I thought it was a residential component.
Yeah, we do have an immediate focus on residential development. That's where we're focused on that now.
Is that high rise or mid-rise?
It would definitely be mid-rise. Right now, the market, so high rise construction is typically concrete or steel, drives a certain construction cost, and it has to be supported by a certain level of rent. And those rents just aren't achievable in this immediate area, that's Central Jersey. The only place you see them is in New Brunswick. A lot of that's driven by the DevCo, public-private, and the employment and also just the DevCo capital stacks that they put together. It's just a very creative place. I live in an 8-story building in New Brunswick, and it was a DevCo partnership. So, but to your point, I believe long term, Commissioner Scott, the opportunity to do high-rise development here would be, there would be an opportunity to do that. It's not in the next 5 years, though. That's
Not there yet.
It was just not there yet. But more density is good. It's good for the borough. It's good for the redeveloper. It's good for the community. The more density that you have, the better the walking environment is, right? So that's part of what makes the attraction of New Brunswick is, you know, all the dynamics between the employment centers and the residents and everybody can, and the university, and everybody can walk to the restaurants and such.
If not enough residential supports those restaurants and everything, we might start seeing closure of those. So I think the residential component is now essential there.
We agree. Absolutely.
Riverton University sounds good.
Any other questions or comments for?
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Appreciate you coming, Kevin.
We'll see you next month.
Thank you.
Not giving up on Cerebral.
Right.
Yeah. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak? And ask one more time, anybody from the public like to speak? Otherwise, can I get a motion to close public portion?
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And now we have consent resolutions. We have 2026-07-20, resolution of the Cerebral Economic and Redevelopment Agency awarding professional service contract for agency attorney, which would be Hoagland, Longo, Moran, Dunst, and Dukas LLP from July 1, 2026 through July 1, 2027 pursuant to the fair and open process NJSA 19:44A-20. Mike, any questions or is that good?
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Make a
Make a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Is a rate change?
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
DeWise?
Yes.
Fisher? Grillo?
Yes.
Parikh? Rios?
Yes.
Roberts?
Yes.
Scott?
Yeah.
And Chairman Zabrowski?
Yes.
Thank you.
Mike, can you explain the rate change?
Sure. We asked for an extra $25 an hour for when we bill the agency and an extra $25 for when we bill the developers. The difference between the rates are the agency rate would be $250 an hour and the rate to the developers would be $395 an hour. And just for reference and comparison, the attorneys you saw tonight for the developers were probably $750, $850 an hour and up. We're a bargain.
We're getting a good deal.
We're a bargain. Thank you.
Now on to 2026-07-21, resolution of the Cerebral Economic Redevelopment Agency awarding professional service contract for agency engineer, which is now Artheon, formerly CMA. And we only have one caveat, and that is that David and Justin remain status quo for us moving forward from July 1, 2026 through July 1, 27, pursuant to fair and open process NJSA 19:44A-20.
I apologize. I didn't pay attention to the rate, if there was change or not. So David, is there a rate change in your proposal?
There are.
Just explain, that's all.
Yeah, the rates went up probably between 3% and 5%, depending upon categories, but that's because candidly, we have to pay people to keep them. It's
Oh,
been a tough
I
market.
just want to make sure that Commissioner, when they're voting, they understand that there is small increase to all of this.
Can I get a motion?
I make a motion?
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
DeWise?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Parikh?
Yes.
Rios?
Yeah.
Roberts?
Yes.
Scott?
Yeah.
And Chairman Zabrowski?
Yes.
Thank you.
On the 2026-07-22, resolution of the Cerebral Economic Redevelopment Agency awarding professional service contract for agency planner, which is VMS Planning LLC from July 1, 2026 through July 1, 2027 pursuant to the fair and open process NJSA 19:44A-20.
For the record, the last year planner was getting paid $1,500 a month. This year, it's her proposal was for $2,000 a month, so there's $500 increase.
Can I get a motion?
Make
So
a
moved.
motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
DeWise?
Yes.
Fisher?
Yes.
Grillo?
Yes.
Parikh?
Yes.
Rios?
Yes.
Roberts?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
And Chairman Zabrowski?
Yes.
Thank you.
And our final one this evening, 2026-723, resolution of the Saraville Economic and Redevelopment Agency awarding professional service contract for agency auditor, which is Samuel Klein and Company LLP from July 1, 2026 through July 1, 2027 pursuant to fair and open process NJSA 19:44A-20.
Wait, no, they're asking for same, they're asking for the same fees, the auditor.
The fee for this year was that in the proposal was 10,650, which I believe is
Small.
like a 5% increase over last year's or this year's fee. Yeah.
Can I get a motion? Motion. Second. Roll call.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
DeWise.
Yes.
Fisher.
Yes.
Grillo.
Yes.
Parikh.
Yes.
Rios.
Yes.
Roberts.
Yes.
Scott.
Yeah.
And Chairman Zabrowski.
Yes.
Thank you.
Unless there's nothing else, if there's anything else on the agenda, otherwise I'd ask for a motion for adjournment.
I just wanted to ask a question.
Too late. No, no.
I want
okay.
to ask a
Motion on the
question.
table.
2 meetings ago, we had a workshop. Has anything come out of that? Or is there a next step?
The Weber Avenue plan?
Yes, please.
It's still in work. I think the David and Justins are working on it. We're looking into, and I guess Borough is looking into, and we are looking into the funding source for that development. But I think that pretty good concept plan. I believe, as far as I know, all the commissioner were for it. And now it's just a matter of once we get funding source, then we can authorize engineer to start working on it. We had a Sierra Club. Today we had a plan for workshop that we canceled because Sierra Club was supposed to come and make a presentations on environmental concern or their, discussion. They couldn't do it, so we may be having that next month if they're available, or maybe in September. And if for some reason we can, we'll notify well in advance if we need, there's no action item that we'll postpone that. I mean, it used to be August was always off. The SERA didn't have it. We decided to have a meeting just in case something urgency comes in. We don't have to go through all the advertisement. We'll just announce cancellation if we don't see any action item, pressing action item that needs to take place. Okay?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Have a good night, everyone.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Jamie.
Thank you. Thank you.